Ozzie Trapillo and Shamar Turner. So a couple of trench picks there in the second round with their 3 second-round picks. Fourth round, linebacker Ruben Hippolyte, who is just a RAS god, just going to be a speed demon for them, probably on special teams. Fifth rounder, they went with another athletic bet to make, the long and lean cornerback from UTSA, Zaw Frazier. Sixth round, Luke Newman, another guy who was a great athlete at his position. And then they waited all the way to the 7th round to get a running back, but they did get a powerful one who I think is going to be a fan favorite when it comes to training camps and during the season. Running back Kyle Monangai from Rutgers. Our staff gave the Bears a...
Hello.
Hold on, we'll be right back. Hold on.
At number 10 overall, they went with tight end Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren. Interested to hear what you think of that and if that goes into your draft grade and how they drafted. Second round, they go with Luther Burden, but also Ozzie Trapillo and Shamar Turner. So a couple of trench picks there in the second round with their 3 second-round picks. Fourth round, linebacker Ruben Hippolyte, who is just a RAS god, just going to be a speed demon for them, probably on special teams. Fifth rounder, they went with another athletic bet to make, the long and lean cornerback from UTSA, Zaw Frazier. Sixth round, Luke Newman, another guy who was a great athlete at his position. And then they waited all the way to the 7th round to get a running back, but they did get a powerful one who I think is going to be a fan favorite when it comes to training camps and during the season. Running back Kyle Monangai from Rutgers. Our staff gave the Bears a B+ here, Dalton. Do you think that's fair? What do you think of this haul?
Yeah, I think that's fair. You could even maybe argue an A- for the value that they got, especially on Luther Burden. I think that's the best pick out of this entire haul here. To get him at number 39, I thought there was some teams in front of him that made a real mistake passing on Burden. The fact that you add him and Colston Loveland to this offense, I think between not just the talent of these players, but the flexibility they both give you alongside DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, Cole Kmet, the rebuilt offensive line, Ben Johnson calling the plays. It feels like right now the possibilities on this Bears offense are endless. And the one thing I want to emphasize with these two players, okay, the Bears were 29th in the league in slot receiving grade last season. Most of that is Keenan Allen just didn't get what they wanted to out of him, right? Luther Burden the last 2 years is 7th among all college receivers in slot receiving grade, okay? Colston Loveland is second behind Harold Fannin Jr. in slot receiving grade over the last 2 years among all college tight ends. So I think what you have and the flexibility that Ben Johnson has created in this offense with these two players and the personnel that they have now. You want to put two tight ends on the field? You've got Kmet, you've got Loveland. You want to go 11 personnel with a blocker? You've got Kmet. You want to go 11 personnel with a bigger flex tight end like a TJ Hawkinson type guy? That's Colston Loveland. You want to, get Luther Burden going in the screen game? He's dynamic with the ball in his hands. I just think there's so many possibilities now. The Bears are going to be so tough to cover. And there's been talk about, Ben Johnson's talked about, okay, we're turning the heat up on some of these veteran guys, but I don't think that's the case in their offensive skill room. I know there's been talk about Kmet or maybe even Odunze, but you're talking about a team with endless schematic possibilities because of everything Burden can do. We already know everything DJ Moore can do. Romo Dunze moves around. I mean, the two tight ends. I love this. I just love the weaponry and the way that Ben Johnson's completely reinvented this offense. In theory, Caleb Williams' life could not be easier with the personnel around him. He just has to go out there and execute. And I think the idea that they're going to take you put more of the run game into this offense, right? Obviously, Ben Johnson's going to want to run the ball. They're going to put easy throws in this offense with Loveland and Burden and DJ Moore. Everything about Caleb Williams' life in this offense should be easy. He has to just go out and make the throws, but they look like a dynamic skill unit right now with these first 2 picks added in.
Yeah, I like the B+ grade. I could also give them an A-, honestly, because it kind of comes down to what you think of 2 selections, in my opinion. Luther Burden and Shamar Turner. Those are pretty much the 2 that I think are different. Because for as much as, all right, Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren, if you were a Tyler Warren guy, which I had Tyler Warren a little bit ahead of Colston Loveland, but I can understand why they would gravitate a little bit more towards the receiver, the guy who's going to be a little bit more of a flexible slot and X receiver for you, rather than somebody who's going to be an inline and slot type of a tight end for you like Tyler Warren was. So I can understand the Colston Loveland pick. I think that's fine, even though I had Warren ranked above Loveland. you can't be too much of a stickler there, I don't think, because both of these guys are really good. And then the Ozzy Trapillo, I think, is a damn good offensive lineman. And to not overly focus on offensive line, to take one at number 10, but to still get one where they got Trapillo in the second round, you wonder about the scheme fit a little bit because he's more of a man and gap, more of a power run scheme type of an offensive tackle, but he's still a really good player. So I think getting him as a swing backup who could play left and right tackle for you as your preferred third offensive tackle on the team behind Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the CNG Podcast. And we got some guests today. We got some guests today, man. We got our rookie minicamp EP going down today, man. We got Carl in here from Time Smythe. We got Walt that's in here from the Bear Review. If anybody don't know who these guys are, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. We're gonna get the show going. Excuse me for being a little bit tardy, but sometimes technology, it doesn't cooperate with you all the time. So we're gonna give the guests the honor. We're going to start with Walt. And Walt, let them know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, so you can find me on X as it's up here at the Bear Review, underscore between each word. Same thing with YouTube. I'm a little harder to find there, so you got to look through the channels. I really should look into rebranding it, honestly, just because of the show. But yeah, we do anything NFL draft related. We're getting into the season right now. And I'm just glad to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
We appreciate you having on. We got one of our favorites, man, one of our boys. We got Carl. I didn't think he was going to pull up on me, but he pulled up. We got Carl from the Time Smythe podcast. Carl, tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
You can find me on Twitter, YouTube at @thy_and_smythe. And then on Thursdays, later today, I'll be joining the Bears Country podcast, Bears Country Productions, with on their YouTube channel with their weekly show as well. But yeah, very, very happy to be on with you guys. Like I said, I'm going to have to cut out around 8 o'clock, but up until then, all yours, and I'm definitely excited for this episode.
Yeah, we got Nonsense napping here, man. That's one of our OG followers right there, man. Nonsense, where you been, bro? But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Rookie minicamp is about to start tomorrow, man. I wanted to do a show. I wanted to get some guys in here that I know talk football along with me, myself, Alan, and CJ. Wanted to get some guys from Bear Nation to come in here and talk football with us and talk some of these picks, man. Like, we all talk to each other as far as, offline or private chat. It's always cool to do that. But we wanted to bring an episode to you guys so you can hear it in real time, what Carl thinks, what Walt thinks, and what me and CJ think. So with that being said, it's rookie minicamp tomorrow, Carl. It's rookie minicamp. We went number 10 overall with a tight end. People didn't see that coming. 39 with a wide receiver. Didn't see that coming. So how did you feel when we got these guys right here? Like, what was your first thoughts?
Yeah, I literally talked with you guys. I know specifically that Mr. Allen was very, very high on Tyler Warren, and I was very against the Bears drafting a tight end at pick 10. I don't care if Colson Loveland went to Michigan. I'm still against the pick. Moving forward, I can't change that, right? So I'm going to buy multiple versions of the Loveland jersey, wear it every single day, get sticky, whatever you want to say. Like, I'm gonna love the player. He went not to my school, but the school that I support, right? So it's incredible is it from a fan standpoint, but you kind of saw something that I don't want to say I predicted, but I feared. I had a tweet. I said if there were 5 running backs drafted before the Bears picked at pick 39, would I be considered an NFL guru? I said it jokingly, but lo and behold, there was 4, right? Could have taken Caleb Johnson. At the spot, you took Luther Burden. But what happened was you passed on the running back at 10, which it wasn't Genty, so you had to. You took the best tight end in the draft, arguably. But that trickle-down effect, you came away without a running back. And I know we're going to talk about Manungai, how excited we are for him. Unfortunately, he fell to the 7th round, so I don't think he moves the needle as much as you want. But I'll stick to Loveland. As far as a compliment to Cole Kmet, you could not get anything better, right? Receiving threat will be able to help stretch the field. He honestly is probably a better blocker right now than Tyler Warren is as well. So I support the pick. I think we could all agree, too, that what happened before the Bears picks 1 through 9, that was the just worst case scenario, right? You had guys like Calvin Banks go. Obviously, I would have loved Mason Graham. You could have drafted Kenneth Grant. Would have been an amazing player to either replace or back up for the time being Andrew Billings, kind of from that inside nose tech position. So you decided to go on offense, not once but twice, is what it is. But it's a offensive-minded head coach, and we saw the philosophy in Detroit, especially with a defense that was trotting out, second, third stringers in the playoffs. Just score more points. You win. The definition of winning a football game is by scoring more points than the opponent, right? So it's going to be a bit of a change for the Bears, but I'm all for it.
Yeah, so Walt, man, well said about Carl. So Walt, what did you think of, man? We took a wide receiver at 39, then we took a big guy at 56 with Ozzie, the big polar bear from Boston College. So what were your thoughts about these first 3 or 4 picks, man? Whether it's Colston, whether it's Luther, what was just your first thought? Did it go as you wanted to go, as planned, or what happened?
Honestly, guys, with Colston Loveland, I'm going to say I was disappointed in the pick. I wanted to go defense first. I was on another show and we talked about it, and it didn't sit right with me all night. So I had to go and watch a bunch of film on him. I like the kid as a receiving threat. I'm worried about his shoulder in the blocking game. He's a very shoulder first run blocker. And if you look at his doctor's note, the doctor there made one very key, used one key word, and that's reconstruction. That's something they don't use really lightly there. So that means there was nothing salvageable. And I'm worried that shoulder is going to be a problem moving forward with him. Luther Burden, amazing pick. Loved it. I had him pegged as a first-round talent. I was okay with him last year with us passing on Marvin Harrison Jr. and Rome Odunze going after Burden this year. So I was completely on board with that. Ozzie, great kid. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, great kid. He pretty much has a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? He looks like he's ready to come in and ball. So, Allen, what were your thoughts? We got Luther Burden at 39. Did you want a pass rush? Did you want another offensive lineman? What was your thoughts when we took a wide receiver? Like, what's the thoughts between, what is Ben Johnson thinking right here, man? Like, is he thinking I'm getting rid of DJ Moore because he's pretty much almost a damn same type of player? He's small, he's fast, 6 feet, kind of the same thing. So, what was your thoughts when we drafted a wide receiver at 39?
Well, I liked it because of the best player available. He was the best player on the board at that time as far as value. He was a first-round grade, and he went second round with us. That's just one of them things you just gotta, as an organization, we're not short on talent. He's a blue chip talent. He was the number 1 wide receiver in high school coming out with 4 years ago. So the kid is talented. I think he had a little bit of a drop off last year. The offense kind of throttled down a little bit, and sometimes that comes with scouting. Defensive coaches get paid too. So Luther Burden, I think, was a good pick. I think he was the best pick we had in the draft, personally. If we would have got Tyler Warren, I would say he would have been one, but we didn't get Tyler Warren. We got Loveland, and like the young man said a few minutes ago, with the shoulder injury, with the reconstruction, yeah, man, I knew about the shoulder injury after the draft. I didn't know anything about it too much, but that's not good. But I don't think he's gonna be in the box. The way he looked last year, they had him in the backfield, split out wide. So he wasn't inside the box to get a lot of tangled up action. So, I think Loveland's going to be okay. I think they got a plan for him.
Yeah. And I think they got a plan for all these guys, man. I think they got a plan for Colston. I think Colston Loveland is just he's a better tight end than Cole Kmet at this point as far as talent. He's a better prospect. He's a 3-level type of tight end, what I've seen. He can go by linebackers, he can go by safeties, he can go by corners. When you put a Cole Kmet out there, he's not necessarily going by anybody. He's necessarily not stretching the field. So I've looked at his film and I've seen a guy that's going upfield. He's getting by linebackers, he's getting by, safeties and corners. So I'm seeing him just burn people and go vertical, and he can go up there and get it. So I think they value in that. So I like the pick from their prospect to do the same thing they did with Laporta in Detroit. But then we had this right here, CJ. The 39th overall pick was Luther Burden. I didn't really see a wide receiver at 39. I'd rather that have been a pass rush, you know what I mean, or another offensive lineman, whatever was best player available. I guess that's what that was. But to see that he was a first-round grade, a first-round talent, he was the #1 wide receiver in high school. He went pretty much unnoticed, and he's taking it personal. So, CJ, you think this guy is a blue-chip type of prospect for us?
I mean, I definitely do, and he's definitely a Ben Johnson guy. The way he was utilized in college, you can see it in some of the plays that he was in. He's a guy that has pretty good speed. Can come out in the backfield and do some things. This is a good pick right here. For the fact that the Bears didn't get too many wide receivers in the last 2 drafts, but Romaduzak.
Right.
But I think he's going to be a great slot receiver for the Bears coming up this season.
All right, we got a comment from Nonsense Snap saying hopefully Cole, since he's evolved form of Cole, I don't know the system is going to utilize him well though. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. So Walt, I want to talk about the next player on our list right here, man. Is the big polar bear we got, man, from Boston College, man. 6'8", 316 pounds, man. I just want to get your thoughts. What was your thoughts about this dude right here, man? Like, he's a prospect. He's been on the offensive line, whether it's inside, outside. I know you do a lot of scouting. I know you do a lot of analysis. So can you educate the people on the positives or the negatives, or you know what I mean, the guy's potential from this guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a really good anchor. I think that's the main thing you see with him on both sides of the ball. There was a little bit of a concern when he was playing left tackle, but I chalk that up to be more, he's just a young kid. He's still learning the ropes a bit. The move over to right tackle really helped him a lot, and I think we saw that this season. I don't think he gave up a sack this year, or he gave up 2. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but a definite kid, a leader on the field. And that's one thing you really want to see from these guys moving forward. I know Boston College really isn't the creme de la creme of competition, so we're going to have to see how he adjusts. But the intangibles are there. His arms aren't super long. They're not Karan Amagaji length or Braxton Jones, but they're more than serviceable for the position. So I have him have a really good chance to beat both those guys out. If he puts his head down and his nose to the grindstone, he could start week 1.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to Allen, and I'm gonna go to Carl, because I had asked Allen, a guy being 6'8", he's being this tall. What is the downfall of being that tall? He said something about people getting under his shoulder pads because he's so tall. So can you kind of reiterate that point of what's the downfall of being a 6'8" guy like that?
Yeah, sometimes when you're that tall, it's hard for you to get low and get leverage on a guy that's 6'2", 6'3". Let's say like Turner that we got, he's 6'3", 290. So if he gets under your pads, you're going to be on roller skates. So a lot of times when you're 6'8", you got to find leverage. So flexibility is what his greatest attribute and core strength. So he can keep those guys at bay, because with his length, he can reach out to them earlier before they get in their move. But that comes with time and good technique. So that comes with coaching. So I really challenge our offensive coordinator and our line coach to, exhaust every remedy with him with technique, because he's 6'8". It's a great attribute to have, but it also could be his biggest weakness with guys getting up under him. And, that's the only thing I say about 6'8" guy. But from what I seen on tape, he keeps his feet moving. And that's all I ask for offensive linemen. Never get your feet to the point where it's stopping and you're standing around. Back in the day, coaches would tell the running back to run up his back. So, you got to stay, when you get inside the line of scrimmage, always keep them legs churning so you can, create alleyways for your running back and not bog down the offensive play calling. But I think Oz is going to be fine. Me personally, I want him to stay at right tackle, because right tackle gives him the ability to stay strong in what his strengths are. Left tackle requires a whole lot more athleticism than what I've seen on tape. So I would rather him stay at right tackle, and let's see what happens with Donnell Wright, because he has the feet, but I'm nervous about moving him right now. And like you said, Oz is still young. He still can develop. But I would say let's pause about moving him to the left side this early.
Man, I love it, man, because a lot of people think he's going to go to left tackle. Basically, also comments that Ryan Poe said, he spoke to the media about it, him trying him at left tackle. So everybody's just thinking that he's going to be left tackle. So, Carl, we got Braxton Jones. We got Karan, Karan still here. We got Braxton Jones coming off for injury. We got Karan still as a pup, which I like. He's a blank canvas. He didn't have real coaching last year. So now we got Roshar in the building with him. So I think he's actually going to be something. But if you had to put your money on a guy for the future right now to come in right away and play, what are your feelings about Ozzie? Like, do you think he has a lot to learn, or do you think it's just that it's coaching more than anything? You know what I mean? What do you think?
Well, not too much that hasn't already been said, right? My fear with a player drafted at 56th overall is that your aspirations are for him to not start, right? For you to draft a player at 56th overall and say his career is always going to be our third best tackle, it seems a bit asinine. He's got to find a way to start in the NFL for the Chicago Bears for that pick to be worth it. And I agree with Alan. I was just reading The Beast, the little blurb from Dane Brugler on Ozzie. He says that he's a lot more comfortable at right tackle than left tackle. And I don't know why we would take a player who was comfortable at something in college and transition them to left tackle in the NFL and make it that much harder for him. I think you could think about starting Ozzie at right and put Darnell Wright at left, but it just seems silly. I think that the pick initially, again, if I had to give it a grade, C-. It's just, that connection to Boston College, is that why this kid's on our team? I hope not.
Ryan Poe strikes again.
Yeah, as far as a football player, I'm sure he's fine. As far as a 6'8" offensive lineman, go ask Joe Alt if he's able to do it. He has the ability to do it. Not comparing the two players, just from the stature, right? But again, got to see him start in the NFL for this pick to be worth it. Otherwise, it's going to feel like another swing and miss.
Man, beautifully said, man, because everybody's frustrated with the offensive line from the lack of the resources that Ryan Poe refused to spend for the first 3 years of him being here. Then we get Ben Johnson, CJ, to come in here in one season, pretty much get some real people in here. Then it comes to the draft, and we think we're going to get the project at left tackle in between what you're saying, Alan, and Walt was talking about it. You guys, just like this dude's going to play right tackle. So you're going to mess up the offensive line again to something that Darnell Wright was doing at right tackle since he's been in the NFL, and get him to start there. Like, this is becoming an issue on the offensive line. I just hope it just works out for the best, CJ. So, just what's your thoughts about what's it called? The musical chairs keep continuing. It just keeps going on, CJ. So, what's your thoughts, real quick, man, before we get to Shamar Turner?
It's definitely a concern to me because I'm like this: if the offensive line is not broke, no, you don't need to fix it. The fact that Ozzie can play right tackle, and the fact you got Darnell Wright already playing right tackle in the NFL, I don't know, man. Flipping guys around to the offensive line when they're already comfortable in the position that they're in, that could be a disastrous time for the Bears. So I hope they know what they're doing. I really do.
Yeah, I just don't like it, man. Like, the information I'm getting from y'all, I just don't like it. Because you have to see, can guys adjust? You got to see that once a person gets used to doing something off of repetition, and we're talking about the NFL, man, like, these guys that are being pass rushers, they've been pass rushers their whole life. Their primary skill set is just to get the quarterback. But when you got a guy that's coming in, you switching the right tackle, putting on the left tackle, them guys are licking their chops. Am I right, Rob? Like, these guys are licking their chops knowing that the Chicago Bears are going to be flip-flopping in their left tackle position between Darnell Wright and the rookie that was picked 56. They're licking their chops. Am I right?
You're right.
Yeah.
100%.
What do you think about that, Walt?
I mean, it's not like he hasn't played left tackle before, honestly. He did. That was in 2022. Both tackles at Boston College were absolutely a mess that year. They both led the team with 5 sacks apiece. I think Ozzie learned a lot from that. He turned it around with the move over to right tackle. I do think he has the foot speed and the footwork to handle left tackle. He's shown flashes of that across the past couple of seasons. So there is a chance. You just have to be willing to take the lumps that come with it, which is partially why they moved Joe Alt over to right tackle too, because it's a very important position. We all know that. But, you have to be willing to take the the grit that's going to come with moving a young player over into such a position like that. The question is Chicago ready?
Yeah. Hey, G, can I add something?
Please, by all means, sir.
Okay, yeah. You know what I was thinking, just what Walt was saying? If they do make a move, because like Carl was saying, we don't want to get a guy in the second round and year 3 he's still a backup. That's a wasted pick. So he's gotta be on the starting lineup with this pick. He needs to start next year. Like, he needs to be starting next year. So what I'm thinking is, if they do move him to left, let's say Braxton doesn't come back till week 3. If that's the case, then Ben Johnson and the offensive line coach gonna have to get really creative. Doyle, they're gonna have to get really creative in where the help is gonna be at. Now, this is where Cole Kmet comes in at. Cole Kmet can line up, and that's very untraditional to have a tight end on the left side of the offensive line. It's counterintuitive, but I think if you put Osley over there, Cole could definitely balance that by being on the field more, doing the chips and things like that, so he can protect the young fella in some pass pro. Now, Ben can get creative with that and help him, and don't leave him on the island, but maybe, let's say, 20, 30 plays a game where he can get his confidence up, because some coordinators do a good job of masking their tight ends where they line up, moving them across the formation and sit behind the left tackle. Washington does a good job of that. So you're moving guys to protect that left tackle. So Ben, if he's got the smarts, he might have a plan in place. If this is the case, then they could possibly do some lineup configurations before the snap to help the young guy out.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out something, man. It's a project, man. You guys come with a lot of wisdom, man. You come with a knowledge, perspective, man. It's good to hear this, because people want to be so hyped. People want to be so sold. People want to be ready to go from jump about guys that's coming into our team. And I love the dose of reality, and how we're spoon feeding people a dose of reality. Carl's doing a good job with that. Walt's doing a good job with that. So what we're trying to do is just set the table of expectations, and I love what everybody's saying tonight. I really do, man, because we got to be honest about the pick. You know what I'm saying? Carl didn't like the pick necessarily. Walt didn't really like the pick. Allen didn't really like it. So what we bringing right here on CNG Podcast, along with Ty Smythe Podcast and the Bear Review, we're just giving you guys a dose of perspective and a dose of reality, and pretty much temper your expectations going into rookie minicamp and mandatory camp. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next person. That is Shamar Turner at 62. Carl, this is another second round pick, and I'm pretty sure you're going to say the same thing about he has to start. Like, he has to be, like Ryan Poles has to hit some home runs, bro. He got to hit some home runs. So what were your thoughts about Shamar Turner right here? Because he could potentially play 3 tech, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But what do you think about Shamar Turner? Did you like it?
Jury's gonna have to be out. If I gave Ozzy a C-, I'd give Shamar Turner a C+. I do see the vision with why they selected him. He has extreme flexibility up and down that entire defensive line. He could play on the end, he could play nose, he could play 3 if he really needed to. Not sure how effective he'll be at any of those positions, but I see why they went with that pick. Dane Brugler had him as the 6th best defensive tackle in the entire draft, and many would say that if he wasn't dealing with injuries, he was a first-round talent. So to get that after essentially a trade down at 62, I think you have to be excited about it. And the cool thing with pick 62 here, invested in defensive linemen, is your defensive lineman is never going to play 100% of the snaps, right? He's part of a rotation, and that's where I feel like that value comes in, as far as allowing him to make the impact on the limited snaps that he has, as opposed to an offensive lineman where they either play or they don't, right? So Shamar Turner, overall, I like it. I am hopeful for it. It's just one of those things we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, man, I love it. So, what were your thoughts, man? Like, did you like this pick at 62? Because we got to build the trenches up. whether it's offensive line, defensive line, we got to get some guys on both sides. We have to start pretty much building the farm. You know, I love saying it because we got to get the stable together. But what were your thoughts about Shamar Turner right here? What of his strengths, his weakness, and what do you think so far?
Yeah, I actually really like Shamar Turner. I had him pegged somewhere in the top 50. So honestly, getting him at 62, perfectly fine with. I don't see him, at least at the moment, as a defensive tackle moving forward. I think that was a move of necessity more so than what he really wanted to do. Because if you go back to 22 and 23, he played off the edge at Texas A&M. He was actually pretty good. You know, so you jump back to 23, he actually led the entire team in pressures, had a win rate of 13%, I think it was 13.3. That dropped down to 6 this year. So if you're going to keep him at defensive tackle, you got to be willing to let him sit and learn, unless you have him drop 30 pounds and move him outside, which is entirely possible and probably better off for him. He's got good speed. He's got good power. He's got a decent repertoire of pass rush moves. The issue with him is you didn't get to see it on tape. It's there, but in very small quantities. He's got a good rip up and over swim. He's got a spin move. He doesn't really use it too much. He just tends to long arm guys a lot and try to bull rush his way through, which is good, but you're going to need to upgrade at the next level. So overall, I give the pick a B. Probably a nice even B.
A B, okay, I'll take a B, man. I'll take a B, man. I'll take a B. So, Alan, you know, anything you want to say about this pick right here, man? Like, what do you like about Shamar Turner, man? Because, like I said, you got to take a shot. The draft can be a crapshoot, and you got to come out there with something that's a little bit better than average. So, what do you think about Shamar Turner?
Well, it's more of a scheme fit. I think he's a scheme fit. Like Dennis Allen has a affinity for guys with his traits that can move around the line of scrimmage. Because I still have this vision for Javon Dexter that he's gonna end up moving to the outside, or he's gonna end up moving himself to another team. I think he's a really good 5 technique in a 3-4, but we're in a 4-3 in that elephant front. Shamar Turner fits that role because he can play the 3 and he can play the outside. So Javon Dexter, I really think he's going to move up and down the line too, along with the guy we got from Indianapolis. He moves around a lot. So I really think, man, Dennis Allen, he believes in slants and stunts and things like that. You might see Turner line up in nose, but he's going to actually end up outside the tackle by the time the end of the play go because they're doing a stunt. So it's very, if you got great creativity, you can put him at the nose and he can be anywhere. So I like fronts like that. It gives offensive lines fits because you don't really know where your guy's going. And stunts require a lot of discipline to block. Not meaning that you stay in your gap and be gap sound as an offensive lineman to make sure that you're covering your gaps. So if you're not doing that, we're gonna attack you. So that comes with a lot of guys with discipline. So Shamar Turner came from a scheme that guys did a lot of one-on-one. So I feel like with him, he's got enough talent to play the outside. I know they were saying we need to get an outside rusher, but I think they looked at that board and they believe they have all they need at D-line. They didn't go out and get a lot in free agency. So I believe they got what they wanted in Shamar Turner. So I'm going to go ahead and let them have this one.
Yeah, I like Shamar Turner, man. I like what he could be. I like that he can move around. I like the stunt action. You know what I mean? I like he's going to be – so, Alan, he's pretty much going to be standing up in his defense, right?
He can stand up on the outside on third down. If they doing like a mug front, and see, Dennis Allen does a lot of mug front too, where the linebackers sitting inside the A-gap. So that will move Shamar Turner out a little bit. So that will create conflict with the offensive lineman. So on tape, he did pretty good in the inside one-on-one, but you just, one of them things just depends on how you want to line them up. So his scheme versatility is what I like, very, very much so with Shamar Turner. His scheme versatility.
Man, we got a comment from Craig. What's going on, Craig? He said, what's going on, guys? He said, Craig is in the building right now. If you ain't here right now, please retweet. Please share on Facebook, like it, post it, quote it. You know what I mean? Whatever you guys can do, we really appreciate it. But not only myself, but for Carl and Ty Smythe, and for my boy Walt from the Bear Review. He said he like Turner. He think he has a very high upside. I think he got a high upside too, because CJ, he's coming into a situation where he got Billings, he has Dexter, he has Montez Sweat, he got Dayo. So he's going to come into a situation, CJ, where there's a lot of knowledge and there's a lot of experience. He can pretty much pick and choose. I could take this from Dex. I could take this from Billings. I could take this from Montez. Well, there's a lot of him he could pick from that tree of veterans on that team. So do you like the CJ that he's not coming in here necessarily have to be the man in his rookie year? He actually got some vets in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good thing for him to learn from Jared, to learn from those guys, you know, on that defensive line. You know, he's already a good player that can get to the quarterback. Yeah, he doesn't have a move to where he can get to the quarterback as consistent. But learning from those guys, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, me too, man. But we're going to keep the show rolling, man. We hope you guys will like this. Like I say, we come in here, we don't waste nobody's time. Go ahead, Carl, please.
Just final thing on Shamar Turner, and this could be the most important thing, right? He has like a 10-minute low-light film of him getting unsportsmanlike conduct after the whistle penalties. So talk about how good this coaching staff is. That needs to be as true as it ever has been for Shamar Turner, because he could be Tommy Harris, he could be Aaron Donald, but if he's getting his team 15 yards after the fact, it's all null and void, right? So that's the most important thing with a player like this.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to kind of turn him down a little bit. I'd rather turn him down than turn him up. He's one of the guys. He's gonna be wired.
I fucking love that quote. Sorry for cursing, but Alan, that's incredible. Absolutely.
I like to
clip that up.
Yeah, you always wire a guy, especially a D lineman, because that's the grunt work of the NFL football team or any football team in America is the D line. That's the shittiest job in the world. But so that guy that's go down and he's pumped all the time, I want his energy to be to the roof, but we want to tune him down some. You got to tune the guy up. We don't need him.
Well said, man. Rather have a guy you got to turn down and tune up. I love it, but we're going to keep it moving, man. We're going to keep it moving right here. This guy right here, Zion Frazier from University of Texas, San Antonio. This was a pick that I'm most intrigued for rookie mandatory camp, because the dude is 6'3". He runs a 4.3. And I've been watching this film. It's just like once he gets into that backfield, all the way down with those wide receivers on deep balls, he's playing basketball. He's playing basketball. He's smacking it. He's staying with the wide receivers, but he's 6'3". Sometimes he got problems coming out his breaks, dealing with twitching wide receivers. So, Walt, when we picked this right here, what was your thoughts? Like, you think they're going to move him to safety, keep him at corner? Like, what do you think he's going to be? Because I think they're going to move him around to safety, man. What do you think, though?
I think he has the ability to play safety for sure. You know, he's definitely got the length and the speed. I think that's why they picked him. And honestly, that pick was perfect at 169. I don't think I could pick anyone better if that's what they were shooting to get at that pick. I think he had 6 interceptions in his 1 year. The problem is he has 1 year as a starter. Like, that's a knock against him. So you're going to have to see how he handles, full NFL load. It is, but it is at the same time.
I was going to say, Walt, it looks like he started. I don't know if he started, but he 0. Okay, so yeah, he started 10 games this year. He played in 12 games in 2022, but didn't start a single one. So you're spot on. First year as a starter, and he really did show out. All 6 of his collegiate interceptions in his career were in that one season that he started. So he's definitely a player that's trending upwards.
Exactly.
Yeah. So did you like the pick, Carl? Did you like the pick? Like, did you like it? Because we just put it. Now we just getting guys. What do you think, though?
So I've always been very high on Josh Blackwell and Jalen Jones. And obviously Jalen Jones has found his new home in Arizona. So it's Zay Frazier, by the way, guys. It's spelled Z-A-H, but it's pronounced Zay. Zay Frazier, I think, again, excellent pick. And I think he's the literal perfect replacement for Jalen Jones. If that develops into some sort of starting position, I'm all for it. But again, context matters. It's pick 169, right? Middle of day 3. Again, I agree with Walt. This is a fantastic pick. I gave it a B originally, and I gave the picks of Luther Burden and Manungai B pluses. But this pick, the more I think about it, I mean, the better it gets every single day for me.
Yeah, and we got Craig. So I think he would be a solid upgrade on special team one and create competition for sure. So Allen, man, 6'3", he can fly 4'3". When you see a dude like this coming into camp, and guys see him in the cornerback room or safety room, and what are they looking at for him as far as competition? Like, can this dude take my job? What is the dope things about having a guy like this athletic at the corner position on your team?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a big receiver, we got a couple of them like Rome. Rome would probably have fits with him because Rome is a big guy. He's a glider, but this kid right here is a glider. Like somebody like Keenan Allen will probably have a field day on him because his technique. You know, Keenan Allen's a technician, and he knows where he wants to go on a route. Whereas Rome is still learning how to do that. So 6'3", 190. It's not a lot of windows. I think Caleb would probably have a hard time because a guy that long doesn't present a lot of windows. So you're going to have to get him on quick slants, a lot of like out routes, or get him on some options or some maybe a couple of Colorado routes, you know, try to hit him to the boundary. Because tall corners like that don't like to be stopping and going. If you can keep them going with a good flow down the field and keep them with one move or one break, you're in trouble because they're gliding to the football. But if you get them moving in space and things like that, you're working that size against them.
Yeah. Well said, because the tall guys gonna deal with them. It's gonna be tough. And guys like Rome or maybe even DJ Moore is gonna probably they too fast for him. You know what I mean? That low gravity stuff is going to destroy him. So CJ, like this is actually one of my favorite people I'm going to be looking at camp because I'm really intrigued by a guy this tall, this fast, and what he can really do. Like I really want him to be like really good for us. You know what I mean? So CJ, what's your thoughts on Zay Frazier, man? Like I really think it's a good pickup, man. Especially when Dennis Allen get his hands on him, it's going to be nasty. So what's your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts on looking at him on tape, you know, the fact that he can go get the football, the fact that he is tall and don't leave a lot of windows to get a lot of footballs catch for the wide receiver to get the catches. You know, he does have speed and he has that size. And I think this is going to play into the Bears' defense. It's going to play to a favor because we really haven't had a guy that can play in the backfield that tall. You know, and with the length that he has. So I think the Bears going to use that against their advantage on defense.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited to see, like you said, we never had a guy this. Yeah, I'm really excited to see who he get fits to when it comes to camp. Like, I can't wait to see him lock up some people in camp, man. Like, that's all. Yeah, man, that's going to be something to see. That's especially if he gets to Rome and he gets to a couple of other wide receivers. Like, he's just getting guys and you can't get a pass on them. Especially for jump balls with him and Rome at camp. Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to be cinema right there. That's going to be all-time stuff right there. But
he's going to get Rome fits.
Not to poo-poo.
Fits out there, man. He's too fast.
Not to poo-poo on this pick.
Second round. We're going to get to the second round picks. Like I said, we're moving along. Shout out to Devine right here. Devine saying, well, okay, what's up on YouTube? We appreciate you. You've been a loyal follower for a long time. We're going to get to these guys right here. Luke Newman and Kyle Managa. Hopefully I said his name right.
Manungai.
Thank you,
We
Carl.
got our guy, Manungai.
Appreciate it. So, Walt, we got a guard, man. We drafted a guard at 195, Luke Newman. You know what I'm saying? Michigan State. So, we're just getting guys now, man. We're getting a guard. So, here's another one. I got to hear your thoughts, man. What was your thoughts on getting this guy right here? He look like this is like somebody you go to the bar with. He know how to fight a little bit. Like, you'll be okay with him.
Yeah, he's definitely got the, that intimidation factor going. Was he 6'4", 315? He spent those 4 years over at Holy Cross and played majority at left tackle, actually. played just over 2,000 snaps at left tackle. The 1 year at Michigan State was actually his only year at left guard, which was interesting. But he did really good. He only gave up 9 hurries, no sacks, no hits, nothing like that. Better pass protector than run blocker at this point. So definitely a really good developmental player to have on the line, especially with you don't know what's going on with Ryan Bates. We don't know what's going to happen with Bill Murray. He's already 28 years old. So you got to have those guys in your back pocket. And I think Luke Newman is definitely a good one, especially considering you got him pick 195. I know there isn't a lot of a lot of big names coming out of Michigan State every year, but we did good here.
Yeah.
At least on their offensive line, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I really like the pick of Luke Newman as well. What did I just want to say about Luke Newman? Oh, one of the things that the Chicago Bears really were drawn to for Luke Newman was his performance at the Senior Bowl at center. So when I've done my roster construction, no, I still have him as a right guard, but I think he should be considered as a guard project. If they're just over Doug Kramer and consider Doug Kramer their backup guard, then maybe Luke Newman is the developmental center. God forbid, second, third highest paid center in the league, Drew Dahlman, ever has any sort of injury, which he just came off an injury last year. This is a guy that maybe could fill in. Walt mentioned Ryan Bates. I mean, when I'm doing my roster projections, I got the Bears keeping 10 offensive linemen, including Luke Newman, of course, and bumping out Ryan Bates because you save money there. I'm done with that experiment. The guy's arthritis, whatever the case is, right? So I do really like the pick here at 195. He honestly reminds me of like the archetype of what Gray Zabel should have been. An elite player at Holy Cross, moves to the Big Ten with adequate competition, and he's kind of just, I hate to say a jag, just another guy. So I'm surprised a guy like Gray Zabel was able to catapult that high, and I wonder if Luke Newman feels like he's hard done by being an elite tackle at Holy Cross and then just being another guy at guard in the Big Ten, but we'll have to see. Overall, I really like the pick. Gentlemen, I'm going to bid you a fair due. It's been fantastic. You guys have an incredible rest of your show, and I will make sure to catch it on the video on demand, the recording.
Hey, Carl, we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Peace
Peace out.
Carl.
Peace. So, and there was 4. But we got Craig right here saying he was pretty solid at Michigan State, and he was versatile. So a high ceiling for him with the correct coaching. So we're going to keep the party moving, man. But Alan, did you speak on this guy right here? You got anything you want to add to him?
The one thing that jumps off the page, man, he had a 35-inch vertical, man. That was the second highest for a lineman. 35-inch vertical, man. That guy can catch an alley-oop, y'all. You can just throw it off. He'll catch it off the rim, man. That's pretty talent. That's pretty good for a lineman, man. Like, that means he got explosion. So him playing center is really a IQ plays, but center also requires you to get your helmet on the linebacker. So that requires you to be athletic. That's why your centers are sometimes the lightest people on the line, because they have to get to certain spaces on the field. So if he's at center, he's got some rendezvous he's got to get to. So with that type of athleticism, man, that's a quality trait.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like, he got to be athletic, man, because I saw Drew Dahlman, and Drew Dahlman looked little as hell. He looked swole. He don't look fat enough. He just looked like a swole dude. So what
like a tank.
Because what Alan is saying is true, because I'm looking at Dahlman. He was lifting weights on a couple of picks. I'm like, this is our center? Like,
yeah,
kind of small. But what's your thoughts about that? Like, our centers typically kind of fit. They athletic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I played center up until my 9th grade year. So I played it in Little League. And I loved it. When I got older, I thought more defense. But as a center, man, you got to get the points on the field, man. You're probably the 3rd or 4th athletic person on the team. So because you got to get to the linebackers, and you require on and away blocking. So you got to be swift of feet to be a center. You don't have too many big out of shape centers in the NFL. Those guys usually be the best conditioned linemen on the team. So I think we got a steal in this guy with his explosion traits.
Yeah.
Shout out
I
to
think if
Craig.
the Bears
said
really
Brian
want
Bass
to,
is a waste of a roster spot, man. We all know that. And we got Nadia in here. What's going on, Nadia? She's laughing in the background with us. Yeah. She said peace. So, Walt, you got anything left for the big guy right here before we move on to the running back?
yeah. I just had to say, like, if he's going to be the Bears, project at center, they're going to need to put a lot of work in him because his Shrine Bowl performance was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he did not look good at all, and that's too bad. I mean, I think he definitely has a home at guard, but center is way out in left field at the moment.
See, what's your thoughts on Newman, man? Because it looked like they got a bunch of projects, like, and that's the draft, like, and they got time.
That's the
the
draft.
one thing I loved about this offseason is that they didn't leave the cupboard bare. They didn't just depend on 6, guys off the street to play offensive line. They got Tunney, they got Jonah Jackson, they got Dahlman, you know what I mean? They got all these guys so these young guys can learn from, man. That's the biggest takeaway. Like, even though these guys are projects, we got some veterans up front that they can really learn from. And that's really all I can take away from this, because if they was just drafting guys, we ain't really had no real stable offensive line, Ryan Poles should be fired. You know what I mean? But that's not the case this time. Like, that's not the case. So we don't have to depend on a guy like Luke Newman right away, which I love. So, CJ, what's your thoughts on Luke Newman, man? You know what I mean? What's your thoughts before we move on?
I mean, well, the fact that he can play guard and center is pretty good. And like you said, he's a guy that that can be on the bench and can learn from the guys that are the starters. So you don't have to put him out there. Hopefully, right away. Hopefully the offensive line can stay healthy. Hopefully, he can learn from Dahlman and and the guards on the Bears. So I think he's in a good spot. As far as learning, as far as getting an understanding of the game and what he's supposed to be doing out there. And the fact that the Bears got they starters pretty much locked down on the offensive line, and this guy can just come in and just learn from those guys, and hopefully, the learning process will be good for him moving forward. So it's a good thing that that he's on this team. The fact that he can learn from the offensive line, hopefully have a good career by it.
Yeah. We're going to keep it moving like this one right here. Let me see if I can do this right here real quick, everybody. Hold on, because this one is kind of a funky picture. Walt, I'm going to put us all right here because he can walk. Nope, he didn't go over there. So let me just see. Let me see how this goes. Yeah, we just going to talk about this one off. Like, this one was a lot of people was mad about this pick right here. Ruben Hippolyte. So... So, Walt, we're going to start with you, big dog. Like, this was probably the worst pick of the Chicago Bears draft. Like, what were your thoughts when we did this with this guy right here, man?
Considering who was on the board, I absolutely hated this pick. I still hate this pick. I wouldn't even give it an F. I'd give it a U.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, you're drafting him for the speed. I think they've come out and said that on multiple occasions, right? That's fine. But in the 4th round, when you still need like a couple of good pass rushers, and there are some good names on the board, it's not like there's any slouches out there.
Some running back.
Yeah, or running back. Take that. That's unforgivable. I have to knock Ryan Poles on that one. That is probably the worst pick of this draft. I think it's the ultimate reach of the entire draft out of any team.
He's talking about Ruben Hippolyte II, everybody. So, Allen, man, that was the worst pick, man. A lot of people hated that pick. So, what would we like to get? We could have got a running back right there. We could have got anything but him,
Anybody but him. He was, I think, rated to go in the 7th round. That was a reach, man. When I seen that, I was like, he had a 7th round grade. And they said Dennis Allen loved his speed, and they just jumped off the page. His athleticism, he had flashes. But a 4th round pick, I'm not going for a guy with flashes. I want, that the first 5 picks, you want productivity. You start drafting guys in the 6th and 7th round for flashes. But for the first 4 rounds, I want productivity over everything.
Yeah, man, I didn't get the pick, man. He's probably gonna be a special teams player. You know what I mean? He got number 47, which is an ugly jersey he's gonna be wearing. So already, it's like his arc from him being here is already starting off on the wrong foot. So CJ, just what are your thoughts about that pick, man? Because I thought we were going running back, but they went totally the other way with Ruben. What do you think?
Yeah, I wasn't really hyped about this pick at all. I really didn't understand it. You know, the fact that the Bears could have got something, you know, a little bit more needed. You know, as far as on their team, getting a defensive end, getting the running back, you know, and the fact they didn't do that and they got a linebacker here, I don't know. You know, and the fact that you guys are saying they got him on flash talent, I don't know. You know, I'm kind of with Allen on this one. You know, you want a guy here that's a little bit more productive. And I don't know if he's going to be productive as being a bad starter. I could possibly see him going on special teams and being a special team starter possibly. So I really didn't understand this pick right here.
Yeah, then we got Craig saying, yeah, I'm not really happy with this guy in the 4th round. So yeah, a lot of people didn't like. We're going to keep it moving, man. Hold on, we're going to bring up the running back, and then I think we got we have the undrafted guys. So we got our own Genty right here, man. We got our own Genty. We got Genty at home, ladies and gentlemen. According to the people, Calmanunga. According to the people, we got our own Genty. So Walt, this guy looked like, from what I saw, man, he was blocking, he was running hard for yards at Rutgers. Man, he's playing in the division in the Big Ten, I think that it is. So what were your thoughts about us when we finally drafted a running back?
I absolutely love Kyle here. I would have taken him in the 4th round, honestly, over Hippolyte. That's how high I am on him. I talked about him back at the very beginning of April, I think, in my one of my social media posts. You know, he's the first 1,000-yard rusher Rutgers had in over a decade. Back in 20, let me just confirm that. Yeah, 23. He rushed for 1,100 yards. You know, 5 yards per carry. He continued that again this year. I stumbled on him actually scouting Holland Pierce initially, and this kid just jumped off the tape. He's got excellent vision. His pass protection is phenomenal for a guy his size. He's only 5'8", about 211. But if you watch some of his highlights, he's taking on some of these bigger guys up the middle, literally just smashing right into him, and he's just absorbing the whole blow like it's nothing.
I definitely saw that. I was blown away. But go ahead, Walt. But
yeah, no. Final thing, big thing for me is with him over Swift is just his vision on the field. He can almost instantly process the way the line is moving and where the play is going, and he'll hit those holes right away. He doesn't have, you know, super speed, say like a Jamar Gibbs style, but he can go from 0 to 100 extremely quickly.
Love it, man. So Alan, what's your thoughts on this? We got a running back, man. Walt said he had him as a 4th round pick. We got him in the 7th. We saw what they did with Pacheco. We got him late in the round. So maybe what the Bears is following that type of philosophy. So what's your thoughts on Calmanunga right here, Alan?
Well, I like the pick for the 7th round pick. They say he was a team captain for like 2 years. So that lets you know that he's good in the locker room. And, you know, I like team captains. You can't have enough of those. So, you know, not like the captains, we got a bunch of guys that's the highest paid. He's actually, you know, a captain. So, right. You know, that's what I like about him. I don't think he fumbled. No. The whole time he was at Rutgers, I don't think he put it on the pad one time. And he was the first team Big Ten running back. I mean, that's a lot to say to be first team all Big Ten. So that's all I need to see. So a 4th round great. I don't know why he dropped to the 7th round. I don't know. I mean, I hope he works for us, but that was a big drop for him.
Especially no fumbles.
Alan, you're right. That is 0 fumbles on just over 600 carries.
No fumbles. Captain of the team in a tough conference. 7th round? It's crazy.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Yeah, no fumbles. That's and like Walt said, 1,000-yard rusher. They never had that. So you add everything like that up. He should have went a lot higher. He probably don't have no injury history. I don't really know that for sure, but I'm assuming he don't have too much injury history either. with everything else that's under the radar with him. So CJ, what's your thoughts, man? Because we got to get a power back. You know, Ben Johnson comes from Sonic and Knuckles and all that stuff up there. So we got to get a power back. So before we move on to the undrafted guys that we got, what's your thoughts on Kyle Monangai, man? Because I think he's going to kill in the camp as a pass blocker. I kind of want to see
that. The fact this kid will run you over, will literally run you over. You know, being 5'8", 210 pounds. That's what I saw from him on tape, running DBs over. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that you have a running back that can do that, it's pretty cool. You know, and that's what I think the Bears were missing as far as in the running back room.
Yeah.
You know, a guy running downhill that can just run you over.
Get them tough yards, baby. We need somebody to get tough yards. We need somebody to go through the tackles, man. Go through the line. We need that, man. So, Walt, we're going to move on to the last part of the show, man. Like I told you, we're going to flow, man. Look, we don't waste nobody's time here, Walt. We know everybody got things to do. You got a newborn, you got a baby girl on the way. Congratulations with the baby and everything, man. So,
thank you.
We don't want to hold you up, man. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
But the last part is this. These are the guys that nobody's talking about, man. We got, hold on, let me go off camera so I can read some of these names so I can get closer to the. We got some guy named Pizzazz, Sebastian, inside offensive lineman. We got a D tackle, 3 interior offensive lineman, a wide receiver, 2 tight ends, 3 cornerbacks, 1 edge rush, linebacker, 2 punters, and everybody here has some height. Like Alan, look at these guys' heights of these cornerbacks: 6 feet, 6'1", 6'3". So Walt, he's letting you know, Dennis Allen, what he wants in his defense. So what are your thoughts on just the cornerback prototype that he's looking for?
Yeah, he definitely wants like a long, lengthy guy with a lot of speed. You saw him use a lot of corner blitzes and safety blitzes in New Orleans, especially last year. He'll do, I guess what they call like a NASCAR package. I could be off of my terminology. But he'll have up to 4 defensive ends on the line at once, and it won't even use them to rush the passer. He'll have his corners or his safeties come up and do that. They're just there to shadow, which is really interesting. It's I was doing a video for Chase Young, so I just decided to go back and watch everything I could on New Orleans over the last year, and yeah, it was just really interesting to watch. He's definitely got a mind for DBs, Dennis Allen. He's been very good at turning that team's, a defensive back room around. They were pretty piss poor when he took over the job. And over the last couple of years, he had guys like Marshawn Lattimore, the Honey Badger. He moved over to safety. So, he's definitely good at picking those kind of guys out. And you can definitely see, like you said, a pattern with his defensive backs here. All over 6 feet tall, around 180, 200 pounds. I don't know a lot of these guys in terms of their 40. I haven't been able to dive too deep into the rookie minicamp invites, at least these guys you have on screen here. So I'll have to defer on that one.
It's all good, man. We just wanted to let's look at 3 corners tall. We got a linebacker in here. So, they bring it in. Let's see what they got. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 defensive players coming in here. And 6. They got a D tackle, 3 corners. That's 4, an edge, and a linebacker. So then it's Allen like, look, I didn't get all what I wanted in the draft, so I'm gonna have to go get me some some undrafted guys to come into camp, so I can see what I can find me a hidden gem. So Alan, man, what do you think about the guys right here, man? Because I know you wanted me to pull up the guys that was just invited, not the big names. So you probably had somebody in mind. So what's your thoughts on any of these guys?
Yeah, the tight end from Northwestern. A big kid. It look like he's 6'5", look like 260 almost. So
yeah, he's 6'5", 255 pounds, and the other one is 6'4", 223 pounds.
Yeah, so they might be trying to use him as like an H or a floater. But the one from Northwestern, he's gonna be a blocking tight end behind Durham Smythe probably. But those corners, that length is letting me know that Dennis Allen wants a basketball team. So he wants height back there to cover up any pressure that he doesn't get. So tall corners can buy you maybe a second or maybe a second or two compared to short corners because of their reach and the shorter windows. And another lineman, if that's Arizona State, that's a West Coast style of running. So I'm pretty sure their zone blocking scheme, he might come in as a guard. So I'm interested to see with the invite. Every year we always have 2 invites that make the 90-man roster.
Yep.
So every year we always find one guy. Jack Sanborn was an invite. So,
Yeah. We got Craig right here saying, watch out from the edge for Virginia Tech. I watched a few of his games. He's very explosive off the ball. I wouldn't doubt it if he made the roster. So where is he at on this? Let me see if I can find him. Hold on. Where is he up there? South Carolina. Oh, there he is right there. Is that Seeley Nelson? 6'2", 241 pounds. Yeah. There's always going to be a favorite in the camp that you rooted for to make the team. They're going to have them doing some type of content, some type of dance. Everybody going to fall in love with one of these guys. They're going to be at camp. Everybody going to love one of them. So it's always a fan favorite. So with that being said, that's going to be pretty much. So CJ, I didn't get your opinion. I'm sorry about that. CJ, what stuck out to you about these camp invites right here, man? Between the corners, the defensive tackles, there's a couple. We got a linebacker. We got 2 punters. We ain't talking about that. They looking for punters, man. Whoa, CJ, they looking at punters. I thought we had the golden leg in Tory Taylor.
It's all about competition.
He could do no wrong.
It's all about competition, man.
I'm gonna ask CJ then what I'm gonna come to you like. What's up with these punters?
It's all about competition. Competition could be good for the team. And I want to talk about a player that you don't have on your list right now. I want to talk about Jonathan Kim. That guy got a leg. Jonathan Kim got a leg. The fact that I seen that kid kick 56 yards, 58 yards, it felt like he was automatic from 50. So that's gonna be a good competition for Santos. I think,
Yeah, Kim getting signed. Yeah, we got 2 punters. Competition breeds competitive, man. So man, these 2 punters right here, like, competition is everywhere. We got competition from the cornerback position. We got competition from the tight end, hunters. So they're pretty much trying to build their farm. But what do you think about these 2 punters right here? Like, is Tory Taylor safe, man? Like, did he fall off? Like, what's some of his numbers? I know you the numbers guy, dog. So I know you can tell me what really happened with him. Did he fall off or something?
I think he'll be fine. I think these guys are more so, like you were saying, CJ, it's competition. They got to make sure Corey knows, like, listen, we drafted you in the 4th round. We like you. But, I mean, were your numbers really that good overall, or were they just the product of we needed you to punt 9 million times last year? All right, because both can be true. He could be very good. But I wouldn't say he was the golden leg everyone thought he was going to be coming out of the draft. CJ, you brought up Jonathan Kim. I'm actually in the middle of working on a video on Jonathan Kim right now. You're right. He did a 58-yard field goal against Iowa in 2003. I think that was the 3rd longest, either in the program or in the Big Ten, something like that. I forget. I have it written down somewhere. But he's normally kicking field goals in practice about 65 yards. Now, I understand the balls are a little different. So if you talk to guys like Greg Gabriel, he'll tell you that the college ball is a lot stiffer, and the balls in the NFL are a little, softer, more beat up. So that might affect his distance a little bit. But he was locked in from 50-plus yards. I think he missed 1 all year last year. Really good from the mid-30s all the way up. So I think he can give Santos a run for his money. And I think if Santos falters, look for him to step in.
Yeah. All right, we got one more comment. We got a comment from Craig saying, CJ hit it on the head. Even how good Tory Taylor is, competition is key. And that's something I've been saying I want to see from all levels, man. I want to see competition from not necessarily my quarterback. I don't want nobody taking the spot, but the wide receiver position. Because you got, but Luther Bernard is pretty much a damn copy of DJ Moore coming in at camp. You got these tight ends right here. You got other 6'3" corners. You got Tyrese Stevenson looking over his shoulder now, like, look, man, one of these guys, they got to keep their mind focused because somebody could come in here I don't know how probable it is, but somebody can get their spot taken or playing time or something because they setting the deck for what they want their culture to be as far as just competition at every position, like for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. So we're gonna wrap it up, man. We're gonna wrap it up right here. We're gonna just get our final thoughts. We're gonna start off at Walt. You know who he looked forward to the most in rookie training camp, whatever that person got to say, that player got to do. So, Walt, man, who are you looking forward to in this rookie mini camp? Whatever they do, they probably gonna be nodding past too much or whatever the case is. But who you really want to watch come rookie mini camp, man? Who you really want to get into? Pause.
I mean, of course, I'm going to be in our main drafted players. I'm going to watch those guys like a hawk. But 2 guys out of the UDFA class I really want to watch are Xavier Carlton from Cal and Major Burns from LSU. Those are my 2 guys I feel that can easily make this roster.
Yeah, were they on this list? Did I have them on here?
No, those
UDFA is signed.
They already were signed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So who do you want to see the most in camp, man? Who you got your eye on? Like, who's really you think that's going to really be the start of rookie mini camp? Whether it's the offensive lineman or whoever, who you got?
My favorite is Power Eccles, and yeah, he went to UNC. Power Eccles is the linebacker from UNC. I want him to make the team, and I think he can make the team. I think he's better than whatever that guy we drafted, number 4, 4th round. Power Eccles is better than that guy. Power Eccles is more of a Mike backer. So, we're not probably going to have Tremaine Edmonds next year. So if Power can make the team or make the practice squad or fight towards the end of the roster, try to hang on to that 53 spot, I think he'll be a guy we build around in the future. And the safety from Oregon, Greg Gabriel, one of my favorite people to listen to, he said that he don't know how this kid didn't get drafted. I think his last name is Stevenson, if I'm not mistaken. He wears number 0 from Oregon. But he's gonna be a star. The way he was talking, Greg don't miss too many times. So I'm interested to see him this weekend and see some highlights.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say let CJ get the last word of final thoughts. The person I'm looking forward to seeing, man, the most in rookie training camp and all camp is this guy right here, man. Like, I really want to know what Zay Frazier is all about, man. 6'3", looks like a ball hawk. I want to see him breaking up passes from Rome or DJ Moore. I want to see his speed on the field. Like, I'm really hyped to see what he can do. Like, this was a very intriguing pick, and I just want to see what he's going to do. This is going to be a fun watch for me, man. Like, personally, I really want to watch him, man. I really want him to do well. We need another corner or a better safety back there because we don't know what's going on with your boy, what's his name, Brisker. So the fact that they got these 6'3" corners listed, these could be safeties too. You just never know where they're going to be with Dennis Allen, man. So this is the person I want to see the most. So CJ, who you got in mind? Who you want to see excel, or what are your favorites for camp before we get out of here?
I mean, I want to see Colston Loveland and see what he can do. See if it was true, if he was the best tight end on the board when the Bears got him, or was it Tyler Warren? So I want to see what this kid is going to do in this offense. That's going to be my biggest thing I'm going to be looking at.
All right. We're going to end it right there. We're going to get Walter to let us know everybody can find him. Hold on. We got Craig saying, all right, guys, I got to go to bed. Always a pleasure to talk ball with you guys. Bear down. So, Walt, man, before we get out of here, we'd like to just get your final thoughts on anything and tell people where they can find you at, bro.
Yeah, of course. I'm always on X at the Bear Review. Always posted on my YouTube page. So that's also the Bear Review. I do it at the Bear Review. So it's _Bear _ review. That's probably the easiest way to find it nowadays. But yeah, I'm always on there. A bit of an Instagram presence, but I honestly don't post on there a whole bunch, so don't look for that. But yeah, anytime you guys want to reach out and talk ball, man, I'm golden.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. I hope you like the edits, man. We had the players rolling. Good really conversation, man. You elevated the program today. So, man, it's always a pleasure to watch your videos on YouTube, man. You always in depth, know everything. So to have you actually in person on our podcast today, man, I really appreciate you showing up tonight, man. It means a lot to us, man. We really do.
Anytime, man.
All right, man. With that being said, I'm G Walk on half of the CNG podcast. That's CJ, that's Alan, that's Walt. And with that being said, we are out. Peace.